It's Wednesday night.
The New York Theater Barn
is live!
I see color for the first time. Finally, I can feel the sunshine. My heart's singing for the first time. Baby, is this love? I see color for the first time. Finally, I can feel the sunshine. My heart's singing for the first time. Is this love?
Good evening and welcome to New York Theater Barn's New Work Series Live. I'm Joe Barros and I'm the Artistic Director.
And I am Jen Sandler, and I'm the Associate Artistic Director. Tonight, we are excited to present excerpts from the new musicals Love and Southern Discomfort and Present Perfect.
That's right, Love and Southern Discomfort is the new musical from Monica L. Patton and Bobby Daye, and Present Perfect is the new musical from Jaime Lozano and Nancy Chesser.
That is right. So welcome to the 13th season of our new work series and the 26th, I say that number every week, it gets bigger and it's so crazy, 26th installment of our new work series. Since March, and with all of our virtual programming combined, we have presented 54 new musicals. We've lifted up the work of 92 writers. We're going to seriously be at 100 by Election Day. I really, really think so. We made space for over 250 artists and counting, and we have partnered with Broadway On Demand. And like every one of our broadcasts, we are currently simulcasting to Broadway On Demand. Thank you to our friends at Broadway On Demand.
Yes, thanks to our friends at Broadway On Demand and everybody on our staff and board who has been instrumental in making all this incredible magic. We also created Theater Barn Records, which is a new imprint of Broadway records and dedicated to original musicals in development.
Mm-hmm. And in collaboration with Broadway Records, we, Theater Barn Records, released our first album, Willow, on September 25th.
The album debuted at number 7 on the Billboard Cast Album Chart, and Willow is available wherever you stream music.
I'm so proud of the people that made this album. It's such an awesome thing, and it's such a great album, and I hope you get a chance to listen to it. And we are
and a lot of other musicals are coming out of this Averno universe in which Willow takes place in. And we're also excited about a very special event this coming Monday.
It's true. We've been so excited about this. We are hosting a seat at the table, a panel on inclusivity in the theater on Monday, October 19th at 7 p.m.
That's right. Through a robust conversation, acclaimed leaders of the American theater will discuss the obstacles and opportunities that the theater community is currently facing. The roundtable will be moderated by NYTV's own Hector Flores Jr., who is the president of Theater Barn Records.
Yes, we're so excited. And joining Hector at the table will be writer Kristen Childs,
producer Ken Davenport,
writer and my friend Joe Iconis,
director choreographer Byork Lee,
director and choreographer Jerry Mitchell,
actor Daniel J. Watts,
and artistic director of Baltimore Center Stage, Miss Stephanie Ibarra.
That's right. And Stephanie Ibarra is the first Latinx artist to be named the artistic director of Alort Theater. Together, this group of artists will take up space to collectively investigate, inspire, and ignite the future of the performing arts. New York Theater Barn is committed to creating a safe space to have uncomfortable conversations comfortably, and believes that there is a place for all of us at the table of the American theater.
Absolutely. It's a night I really am looking forward to so much. And tickets to this fundraiser event are available on our website. They range from $5 to $250. And with added perks, the higher you donate. And now to tell us more about how you can support New York Theater Barn is one of our loyal fans, Jim Dalen.
Oh, hello. I'm Jim Dalen, and I'm coming to you from my home in Hillsborough, New Jersey. My wife, Ann Dalen, is a proud board member. Together, we loyally watch the incredible presentations each Wednesday. I am a huge fan of New York Theater Barn. The NYTB family is excited about tonight's original culture-shifting musicals, Love and Southern Discomfort and Present Perfect. The company is proud to lift up the work of Bobby Daye, Monica L. Patton, Jaime Lozano, and Nancy Chesser. New York Theater Barn is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and your gift tonight is tax deductible. I'm proud to support an organization that is fostering community and lifting up so many artists during this difficult time. Thank you for supporting live theater and the development of original musicals. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Jim Dalen. We're so lucky to have you and your wonderful wife.
You're one of our biggest fans. You're the best.
You make New York Theater Barn feel like a family. And a year ago, I went to see Chasing Rainbows at the Paper Mill Playhouse with Jim and their family and board president Sheila Ray. And I really, really miss moments like that. And I can't wait to see you all again and sit in a theater with you and laugh.
Absolutely. I can't wait for the day we can sit in a theater. And, you know, one of my favorite things is sitting in a room, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until we couldn't do it anymore. So I can't wait to do that again. So last week's new work series featured the new musicals Salem and Shapeshifters, a queer comic book musical. Here is a clip from last week's presentation of Salem. Take a look.
What is the worst way to die? Some say water by fire and ice.
So my mom and I looked back, and right in our family tree, in our family history, I am a direct descendant of one of the 14 women that was hung in the Salem witch trials. That has become such a huge part of telling this story, to not only lift up the voices of these women that were so muted during this time, but a fearless type of forgiveness when we have those that we love and those that we don't love make mistakes, and a radical form of repentance when it's on us.
Immediately was interested in the subject matter, and so that's I kind of begged Kira to send it to me.
6 accused women and their 6 accusers, and our 6 accused women are kind of trapped in a modern day courtroom with a judge and the jury. The jury is the audience. He's hearing from the people of the town, you need to condemn these women. And from the accused women's side, he has a feeling that there's something that is not being told.
People in the village had to talk, the rumor mills running this town. Shut the doors, triple check the locks, this is how it's gonna go down. And so is the king who is the crown, and that is made still. I'm about to call the executioner, and his cuts never heal.
This song is called Kingdom Comes, and it is our first peek inside the hearts and the minds of the women.
Loosen my lips, lay down your weapons, your chains, grenades, and guns, till the kingdom comes.
So if you...
Such a special show.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't watch last week and you didn't catch it in this brief, I mean, her relative was in Salem witch trial. It's the coolest thing ever.
And I love how she said she was drawn to this grave, the energy when she was there, and then she went home and found out that it was her great-grandmother 8 times removed. Just wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a clip from last week's presentation of Shapeshifters, a queer comic book musical. Take a look.
Carry all the rage inside my throat. Swallow it deep down as I carve out my life by road. Sculpt away my heart when it's chipping me apart. What's the antidote for the rage burning in my throat?
It started as a playlist and as a cabaret and concert experience. And luckily, Truth asked me to stage a medley of songs from the show for the Public Theater's Queer Now extravaganza. What tools are we giving young people in general? for certain people who we deem as bullies, what tools have we given them? And in what ways are we all a little bit responsible for making sure we all grow up okay?
Keep us in cages to keep us from owning our words. Keep us in cages to keep us in cattle herds. They keep us in cages to keep us from getting around. Keep us in cages to keep us from burning them to the ground. I know why they keep us in cages. I know why they keep us in cages.
Each time we do a different version of it, we kind of hold up this metaphorical magnet to the script, and there's certain things that pop up each time.
Every single person on stage was in some way a different queer expression of who they are. And so from there, we kind of thought, okay, well, what if each of these things that makes us beautiful and able to survive in a really tough world, what actually was our superpower?
I'm a work of art. I'm a living sculpture. I am at the start, and my masterpiece is my culture. I'm art, a living sculpture. I am just getting started. Culture yourself. I am culture. Culture yourself. I am culture.
I showed my students at New York Conservatory of Dramatic Arts today those selections, and they were freaking out for those songs.
No, the two of them, what they've written is just, it's like nothing I've ever seen in the way they've taken a bully and shown that they have a heart and they have a story to tell. I just think is so amazing.
Absolutely. Well, now let's get started. Our first musical tonight is Love and Southern Discomfort, which has book and lyrics by Monica L. Patton and music and lyrics by Bobby Daye.
When dowager is Catheine Dejoie, polite Louisiana. Long exile to bury Catherine. Milla reluctantly leaves her life in France and returns to her ancestral, a sprawling postbellum southern mansion, and to her mother, a fake alcoholic debutante, undone by the burden of bearing the family's legacy. With the help of the family's cherished maid, the women begin the relationship until the reconciliation grinds to a sudden halt when a long-held secret.
And now joining us from their homes are the writers of Love and Southern Discomfort, Monica L. Patton and Bobby Daye.
Hi. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you both so much for being here. You are both celebrated actors with many credits under your belt. Bobby was in Aladdin, The Color Purple, and a production of Sweet Charity that I've heard all about. Monica was in The Book of Mormon and Finian's Rainbow. So my first question for you is, when did you become writers? And when did you start collaborating?
For me, go ahead, Monica. You start.
Well, our duo began because Bobby and I, he was an alumni of Book of Mormon as well, and so I was in the second national. He came over to the first national once it had concluded, and we were out over cocktails. And I've been writing and poetry, everything since I've been a child, and I had just completed a psychological thriller, and so I was trying my hand at being a playwright. And so I said, Bobby, I think I wrote a play with music. And so I said, can you take a look at it? Because I knew he was this fabulous composer. He sat with it for a week, and then 7 days later he came back with 3 songs. And we've just been rolling ever since. And he is a dream of a partner. It's like, I don't know where I stop and he begins.
And what inspired you to tell this story? This story is a story about family. It's a story we need right now, but it's also a very specific story about family.
Well, I actually...
The Dejoie family.
The Dejoie family. So my family's from Logansport, Louisiana. And so I grew up with stories of the homestead. And every summer, probably till I was about 15 or 16 when I would protest, but we would go down every summer, and my family has a a lot of land on both sides, and so it would just be woods and trees, and we'd go over our Aunt Isaphine, who was like, she passed away at 113, but I felt like she was 113 when I was little, and she would make sweet pickles, and she had a wood burning stove, and my mom showed me the house that she grew up with, and she had a cousin staying there. I remember the first time we jumped out, some woman came out dressed like a man, and she had a shotgun, and she was spitting tobacco in a spittoon, and she was like, we're cousins. So I kind of was like in between these two worlds. And so my grandfather, who I will show you a picture, he was a piano player, and I never felt like he got his due, because growing up in the segregated South, you know what I mean? So I kind of like built this story around my grandfather and all of our like colorful relatives, in the family land, and that's where the story came about.
Like Jen mentioned, the show is about family, and I think when I was reading it and listening to the songs, it felt like August Osage County meets August Wilson.
Yeah.
There is some definite homage. Bobby and I we've been in classical musical theater for together almost 50 years. So, we had to pay respects to how, what our training is. And so I did take from a lot of like beautiful, well-made, very successful, musicals. So yes, I did.
And tell us more about the development of your show. You've had a lot of exciting development. This is a very exciting day for your show.
Yes, Bobby, please.
Well, you know the history more than I do, but
I know, but what's so special about today, Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's special about today is we are releasing the first single from our show called "Liquid Courage," which was featuring Ramona Keller, who is just amazing, and this song in the show, it's I would call it the 11 o'clock number, and the way that I came about writing this particular style for her was I really thought about who this character Wilhelmina was and what would be the soundscape of her life. And the way she grew up, she was hearing old R&B. So when she has to retreat somewhere, that's where I thought I should take her. And that's what how this feeling of this song is.
And where can people buy Liquid Courage?
On every music streaming site, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, yes.
Everywhere that e-music is sold.
And you can go
on their website.
LASDmusical.com.
Please go out and buy it. Listen to it. It's a great new audition song, I feel.
Oh, I agree. And tell us more about your development outside of this amazing, amazing single.
Monica?
Well, following the single, we are going to drop the album November 28th, and we just actually got some great news. We just landed a wonderful partner that will be making an announcement soon that will be partnering with us with the album. And we're not at liberty to say, but in the words of our director, Miss Toomey, we do have a lot of options on the tables that we are discussing and have started pre-production. So the show is growing, and we are blessed, because of people like you to support us. And thank you so much again for having us.
I mean, because
you finish.
We're definitely in a time right now where we have to find what other landscapes there are to get our arts out there, especially theater. So we've been really working hard and talking to people and really developing things. So hopefully, we'll see.
I just was going to say, I was having some internet issues in the beginning of your part of the presentation. So I think some of our audience might have missed the beautiful description of your show. So do you want to tell us more about the show?
Well, absolutely. So, the theme of the show is just love cures dysfunction. To give love, even when someone is at their lowest, they need to know that they're not going through it by themselves. And so you have the protagonist, Bobby Daye Monica, who is been brought up in plenty, but she struggles with holding this family legacy of this Beaumont mansion that has been in their family for 6 generations. And so there is this legacy that she feels like she cannot uphold, that she is not good enough. And we all have those feelings of not being good enough. And so she is estranged from her daughter. And so when the matriarch of the family dies, she is going to lose her inheritance unless her daughter, who she has not spoken to in years, because her daughter does not want to speak to her because of her upbringing and the hardship she had with her mother not being a mother. But she comes home because she has to uphold the legacy as well. So it's about like the family ties that bind. It's about dysfunction. And it's about staying tethered to one another, even when it is so difficult. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
originally it was called The Inheritance until the play The Inheritance came to New York. And it was about her coming back and have to deal with not only the inheritance of her, family and the home, but what she inherited with her relationship with her mother. That stuff has to be dealt with.
The emotional inheritance, the emotion, the mental, all of that. So I think it's a journey that I think that even though it's specific to a certain family, I think that every family can see themselves into it. There is a character in the world of love and Southern discomfort that everyone can identify with, and everyone can identify with dealing with family dysfunction and dealing with addiction. Her whole story is told through this prism of addiction, and will it overtake her? Will she find redemption? So I think that's a journey of universal themes that everyone can relate to.
Absolutely. I think the Dubois family is fractured, but fractured in the best way possible, where you relate to them because of how fractured they are.
So the show received its world premiere at South of Broadway Theater Company in January of 2020. And as we mentioned, Tamara Tooney is the director. So we have a little video from Tamara with some footage.
I'm Tamara Tooney, and I am very excited to have joined the team of Love and Southern Discomfort as the director of this fantastic show. I was really struck at how beautiful and complex this story is. It has so many levels and so many interesting components. It's tackling issues of mental health and addiction and family dysfunction. The music is exceptional. Bobby Daye's music is fantastic. The book is strong. We're continuing to develop it and make it even more better. And it's been an incredible journey thus far, and I can't wait for us to share Love and Southern Discomfort with the world.
And I'm sad Tamara couldn't be with us tonight, but I'm glad she gave the message.
She's so amazing. I just can't. Bobby and I, we just went through another pass through the story with her, and the pearls this woman drops. I'm telling you, we pick them all up. We pick them all up.
She sees everything.
Oh, it's just we're sculpting now. It really is. It's like very, we're excavating, and it's so good. It's so good. We're very happy.
So enough about the amazing Tamara. What is the first song we're going to hear tonight?
Oh, the first song is Memory Lane. This is when Milla, the daughter, is finally going out with a young man that she grew up with. They had a crush on each other. And, he's kind of wondering, has she changed since she's left? Maybe she needs a little reminder of what her home was about, and it's called Memory Lane. This song was written with HBCU written all over it and second line. So that's the feeling of it. Yeah.
And who is performing the song tonight?
Nikki M. James and Anthony Wayne.
Woohoo!
And here is Memory Lane.
You know what we should do?
No, but I'm sure you're gonna tell me.
We should steal some candy.
You're ridiculous.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Can I get you anything else, sir?
The check, please.
Where are you going?
Where are we going?
All right, where are we going?
Down memory lane. I want you to see what you you left behind. Milla Gabrielle, let me show you around. Let me show you everything you missed. Morning, Leland. You're the new news, you're the talk of the town. You're the one on everybody's lips.
Is that what I'm gonna start?
Girl, did you see you're a mystery? Everybody wants to know the truth. To be who you are, did you travel far? Can we trace it back to your roots? I want to take a walk down memory lane. Sir, yes, you forgot the credit card. It feels so good to walk down memory lane.
Pralines, toffee, hot out the kitchen. Tell me, Leland, Maximilian, why you never tried to get away?
What's wrong with you?
In my eyes, you were such a prize, like a rare fine Chardonnay.
A rose for your rose.
I'm a girl who likes to see the world and not live in the same routine. Don't get me wrong, but I don't belong, and I'm really not being mean. But I don't want to take a walk down memory lane.
Come on, give me a chance to change your mind.
It won't feel good to walk down memory lane. I don't know about this.
Let go, Milla. Let's be young again. What do you want? Jawbreakers, Twizzlers, Raisinets.
Lemonade.
Think about the time that we could have had and then never tried to get away. Nothing in the world is beyond our grasp. You and me could be royalty.
Don't you see this is hard for me? I really miss it, but I don't regret. I ran away true, now it's deja vu. I remember what I tried to forget.
Come on and take a walk down memory lane.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Come on, come on.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, I'll take a walk down memory lane.
Come on, take my hand and let me be a man.
Trust in you, trust in you.
Trust me, baby. Oh, walk down memory lane.
I was dancing to that.
And let me. I should have said Tony Award winning Nikki
Okay,
James.
Tony Award. Okay, thank you. Our fellow Book of Mormon sister, yes, and Anthony and I have done many an encores
Anthony is
together.
so
So
amazing,
yes.
yes.
I'll never forget Nikki.
That song is just so much fun. We were all dancing off screen. I was watching all of us.
Yeah, totally. I was singing it in the shower today. I really it's deja vu. Do. I also wanted to say, since you were gushing about Nikki M. James, I always think about her incredible Tony speech about how she talks about the flight of bumblebees and how no one knows how a bumblebee flies, but no one ever told it that it couldn't. So
exactly,
it knows.
And her performance in the Bubbly Black Girl at Encores a few seasons ago, I still think about as well. She's such a chameleon as an actor, and it's just someone I love to see in everything. So I think one thing,
an absolute joy. It was an absolute joy.
It really was. And it was such a great day. It was such a great moment, in life that I think we'll never forget. And it's just, and they're just pros. Just came in, knocked it out. We had the best time.
so I want to hear about this recording experience because you clearly from these videos, it was during COVID times and you were wearing masks when you weren't singing. How was that experience like to perform? You had these incredible performers, but with these kind of restrictions, how did you make that work?
It takes a lot of pre-production. It takes a lot of preparation. And so we did our homework. We asked questions. We checked guidelines according to city, what we could get federally. We ordered COVID, guideline, sanctioned masks, and we just made sure everyone's temperature was taken. So we did a lot of precautions, and of course, that always will add to the cost. But let me tell you, it's worth every penny. And we were able to create, and just having that day to be creators and to be creative was so good for the soul.
And props to John Kilgore's sound
Yes.
where we recorded, because they had such a guideline already set up as
They
well.
did.
And
They did.
we actually recorded the musicians down in South Carolina, BJ Brown Studios, and the
Shout
band
out
is
to
called
Black
Black
Noise.
Noise. They
Shout out to
are
Black Noise.
those are my boys. They come with me everywhere.
They
and also Abdiel Iriarte, he's the musical director that we use.
And you know, we can't do this by ourselves. Shout out to our producer partner down there, Zandrina Dunnan, and also our partner, the Slater and Patton Daye Slater production. You know,
Adam Slater.
Okay. Not only does Adam protect us in mechanics and legalities, he's actually also a copywriter. So every and, but, and if in my script, he's looking at it. We see you, Adam.
Well, I know, fun fact, you were telling me when the people playing the waiter and playing the little parts in these songs is the two of you guys and Adam. So Adam is a superhero.
Well, and also just a little tidbit about that. Adam is a huge fan of Book of Mormon. So when he finally was in the same room with Nikki James, we had to have the smelling salts, nearby.
Oh my God. Just a fanboy. But let me tell you, and also shout out to Ken Davenport. He is our Yoda. Thank you so much.
Ken Davenport is on our advisory board. We love Ken Davenport, and we're so glad he's involved with this show.
Well, our next song is the song of the night that we keep talking about. That's performed by Ramona Keller. So did you want to set that up for us before we hear it?
Yeah. Okay. Number one, Ramona Keller is amazing. And Ramona actually has been flirting and associating with this project for a long time. Her voice has always been in my head, and I'm so glad that it came true. She delivers and more. Liquid Courage is a reminder that pain and struggle spare no one. And the protagonist, Wilhelmina, she is at the lowest point in her life. And basically she is saying, I give up. This is what this song right here is, defeat.
And she is Wilhelmina, right?
She's Wilhelmina. Yes, she is.
So here is the amazing Ramona singing Liquid Courage.
I've been right. I've been wronged. Now I'm wondering where I belong. You see, I've been beat, and I've tried to be strong. Lately I feel I'm barely holding on. Ooh, I've tried, but my mind's not mine. Need a little liquid courage and I'll be just fine. Take me high till my mind's not mine. I wore life's crown, and I've been pushed down, misunderstood in this lonesome town. You see, I gave love, but it wasn't enough. Never accepted for the girl I was. Ooh, I've tried, but my mind's not mine. Need a little liquid courage and I'll be just fine. Take me high to my mind, not mine. Don't try to build me up while you're breaking me enough, not pretty enough, hair not straight enough, never enough. For your world of make-believe.
My God, that like gut punched me.
And shout out to Max Ehrlich for his wonderful videography and editing. Max Ehrlich.
And I think we can all relate to that lyric, never enough. I think especially right now, we all like, what is enough? And also I love
hair never straight enough. Yeah.
I also love the lyric, my mind's not mine.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you both so much. We can't wait to see the show on a stage, and we can't wait for everybody to check out the release of Liquid Courage. So thank you both, Monica and Bobby.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having us on today.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yes, indeed.
Such a score. I love this show.
I love, and everyone's going to be singing Liquid Courage soon with this single out. It's such a great song. I can't. Everyone, all these comments about it.
I'm still singing the other one, the doobie doobie doop 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 doop.
Yeah, no, all of the styles in the show, there's not, everything we've heard, not one song is the same. It's amazing. I can't wait. But now on to the second half of our presentation with Present Perfect, which has music and additional Spanish lyrics by Jaime Lozano and book and lyrics by Nancy Chesser.
A young woman steps out of the confines of her insular, ultra-Orthodox community in Brooklyn and finds herself as much as an immigrant in a new land as the recently arrived students she teaches in her New York adult English class. Lives intertwine as each in their own way struggles to belong, find love, and succeed in a new country. Life changes in an instant when an earthquake rocks a village in Peru, sending aftershocks throughout the classroom, and each must decide how far they will go to protect those they love. Present Perfect is a uniquely American story told with a contemporary twist, infectious vitality, and a Latin beat.
Yes, and now joining us from their homes are the writers of Present Perfect, Jaime Lozano and Nancy Chesser. Hello. I know. Jaime, you're right across the river in New Jersey, and Nancy, we're jealous of you. You are in Florida in the sun.
Oh, beautiful here. Was at the beach this morning, so
don't rub it in.
Yeah.
So let's get started here. There's a little unknown artist who works in town. His name's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I don't know him.
And he has been known to call Jaime the next big thing. And you'll see why shortly. Jaime, you are a native of Monterrey, Mexico, and you have an eclectic body of work and have worked with multiple collaborators. Those works include The Yellow Brick Road, Myths, and Savage, just to name a few. And this is your first time collaborating with Nancy. Nancy, you are a storyteller whose projects span from abstract photographs found in the collections of 4 museums, including the Fogg Museum at Harvard University, silk-screened political posters included in the libraries of both scholarly university archives and the library at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, to essays published in national magazines and local newspapers. Present Perfect grew from your experiences with a multicultural class of immigrants learning English. Nancy, tell us what made you want to tell this story as a musical and how that road led to Jaime.
Well, again, thank you for having us here. I've been an English as a second language teacher, ESL teacher, for about 17 years now. And it's been an incredible experience, expansive for me. And, as I sat in the classes and little by little, you start to get to know the students on a more intimate basis, and the class becomes a community. It becomes a safe place. And, the person that, you knew was working in Walmart and having 2 jobs. And then you find out, well, he was he was an advisor to the president of Colombia, and there was one incident specifically that it was, as I was gathering all these stories in my head, that really just moved me to say, I have to do something, was we were sitting it's Florida, and we have afternoon thunderstorms, and at usually about 2:00, the storms would come in. And this one student just kept looking out the window and he wasn't paying attention. And I was trying to get his attention. And then finally he said that he had found out that his cousin, or I can't remember now if it was cousin or his brother, had left Cuba in a boat. And, he was concerned about the storm because he was trying to cross the Florida Straits. And, for the rest of the time, the class, we just sort of watched the weather report. And there was something about just, the drama in that, and then the community that surrounded him to support him. And there was a story like that happening in everybody's life. And so, there was also just an infectious joy in the class and music. And sometimes people would dance in the class, or there was one class I came in and this lady had laid out all these bras on the table. She was from Colombia and, had all these really beautiful black bras and, like, teacher, do you want one? And, and it was just, such a range of things going on. It felt like, first I thought, well, maybe a TV show or something. And then it was, a musical. So that's sort of the history of it.
And Jaime, how did you meet Nancy, and how did you come to collaborate with her and write the music for this show?
Yeah, a small world. We are all connected in some way. So Nancy went to this Dramatists Guild conference, and she approached Kristen Child and asked her about. Yeah, I love her. And she was teaching at that time. She's still teaching at NYU at the graduate musical theater writing program that I was part of it. And she recommended her to Nancy, just send an email to the program and see who is like interested. And at the moment that I read about what was the show, immediately I sent an email to Nancy and I told her, no, I want to be your partner to tell this story. These are the kind of story that I want to tell. But then we met after I had a show of Broadway. Nancy came to the show. We met. We talked about, and at that time I was in process for my artist visa, and it turned out that my lawyer was a scam, and he stole all my money, and I have to go back to Mexico. And we weren't able to collaborate. That was 2011, 2012.
Okay. Everything worked out after.
Yeah, that was 2011. I had to go back to Mexico for 3 or 4 years. So we couldn't connect. We couldn't make it happen at that time. And when I was in Mexico, I met my wife, we got married, it happened, and then we came for our honeymoon. We decided to overstay. A couple of days before, this is my immigrant story. A couple of days before we were supposed to fly back to Mexico, I told my wife, should we stay? And we stayed. We did a show. Nancy came to that show at the New York Musical Festival, and we reconnect. That was 2016. So like 5 years after the first time that we connected. And that was finally when we started working together in 2015. We were talking about it that my son was 2-3 months old, and we were writing the first song for the show.
Wow. That's how a lot of people measure the development of their show, by how old their kid gets. I noticed that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you had a lot of great development. Just to shout out, we have the amazing Luis Salgado, who's on our advisory board, and he's been a big part of your development.
Yes. And I met Luis when his son was a baby, and now his son is, I think it was 6 years old, I think. But yep.
The first readings that we did for of these shows as a musical, it was thanks to Luis and Salgado Productions. He has been very helpful for us to develop this show.
Yeah.
And I know you've also, the Live and in Color Development Award, your show has gotten that award. You've been developed around the country.
Yeah, I mean, Live and in Color, we done some work with, we had done the reading with Luis, and then we worked with Dev Yankee and for about a year, and I mean, really pushed the show further. They support diverse voices in theater, and we did a 10-day workshop up in Connecticut, and then we did another workshop at Ballet Hispanico in New York the following spring, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'd love to hear the first song, which is called Subway Stops Away, which is performed by Stephanie Lynn Mason, who played Hodel in the Yiddish revival of Fiddler on the Roof. So tell us a little bit about that song before we see it.
Okay, this happens sort of early in the show, and the teacher Sarah is sort of navigating two worlds. She's, still living at home, but she's, her time with the students. She's just opening up and expanding and feeling a vitality and just, the experience of coming and teaching. And so she's in that sort of, she's talking to one of the students who's asking her, where can I take my son in the city? And, they're sort of surprised that she doesn't know the city really well. And she's explaining that and also singing to herself.
And Stephanie's performance is really extraordinary. I've watched it a few times over the last few days.
Here is Stephanie.
Getting around is something strange for me to do. What can I say? For me, New York is something new. Borough Park is my world. I never traveled far beyond one subway stop away. All that you need close by always runs around. And if you left, you kept your eyes down to the ground. Boyish life was not ours, and it could never be home. Those subway stops away. Money train, number 2 train, took me from the world I knew and brought me back again. Money train, number 2 train, put me on a path that bridges to very different worlds, wondering how I will survive a life where everything is changing and new. The D train, pathway to freedom, to subway stops away. How could I know what I didn't know before? How could I know what places there were to explore? All new sights, all new smells, a world that I had never seen. Subway stops away. Dope was bad, no dope is good. I feel so turned around, I'm like a stranger in a foreign land. There are times I cannot breathe, I want to run, I want to leave, and what's the life that God has planned? But I love the sensations I feel, the more exposed, more alive, and more real, feeling more free, feeling like me, feeling like me. Bloody train, number 2 train, took me around the world I knew and brought me back again. Bloody train, number 2 train, put me on a path that bridges to very different worlds, wondering how I will survive a life where everything is changing and new. Bloody train, number 2 train, dirty and crowded, so the strangers and me. Underground railroad for someone brand new. Look around, what's above ground?
was going to say, I love the fermata, the full stop before the final chorus. So cool, dramatic, so magical.
So Jaime,
Yeah,
I
and
know
then
you
that's-
have a
that's
big
very
life development
tricky
right
because-
now.
The what, Seven? Say
I was
again,
saying you have a
sorry?
big life development right now. You have a big life development right now with our friends at Broadway Records.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm very happy that they have been very supportive to my work. With a couple of albums we have now, we just released a new album with them. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be collaborating with Broadway Records.
And
They just released a few weeks ago this album, Jaime Lozano and the Familia, Songs by an Immigrant, that we have amazing collaboration with work with people like Mandy Gonzalez, Alex Lacamore, and this guy, Lin-Manuel Miranda, wrote a beautiful liner notes that you can read if you download the digital booklet. So yeah, I'm very, 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 very happy because of this collaboration. And I mean, this is musical theater. Everything is about collaboration and having a chance to find people like you, like Joe, like Van, like Luis, like Deb, like all these beautiful performers, Stephanie, Mauricio Martinez, my brother that is coming up in the next song. I mean, I just love all this community, and that's the way that we are surviving right now. And we are stronger because of this, because we are together.
Agreed. Paul Max agreed with me about the fermata. He said the fermata was everything. And I think you're going to say that it's tricky to make that happen with a recorded track.
Yeah, and also for the singer. Because right after the fermata, we have a modulation. And there's no a key, she like a reference note to go to the new key. So we have this fermata with a whole bar in silence, and then going to the new key. So it's like a big punch in the face, you know. It's like what I was trying to do, yeah.
But you know what? It really personified how that character was feeling. It's like you almost feel like it's the end of the song, and then that character finally makes that decision. It's like a turning point in the song. It's really, really, really special.
Well, I know you just mentioned Mauricio Martinez, who is our next performer. Can you tell us more about our next song?
Yeah, you know, this song, during this time, we were supposed to have our opening night this June. We got a grant, Nancy got a grant from the government down in Florida, and we were supposed to have a production in June. And because all of this, it wasn't able to happen. But we decided to keep our development process by ourselves, and we started meeting with because the show has characters from all different nationalities, different cultures. So we start doing some research and reaching people from those actual cultures and nationalities, and we got together in Zoom, and we were talking about the character, the story, like reading the script together. They gave us like, do you think this is right for the character? Do you think this is right for the story? We were just trying to be very respectful with all these different languages, cultures, and countries. And this song actually, we did some rewriting this song because we met with a couple of Peruvian friends, Peruvian actors, amazing actors. And we were talking about the song, finding like actual Peruvian references about their culture, about their food, about their country, and I just love the way that we were just leading to a new version of this show, thanks to all these amazing collaborations with these amazing actors that they were very, very open to us, and they share a lot of things about their journey as immigrants. And this song is about this character called Javi. He missed his son is back in Peru, and he just arrived to New York City, and it's about missing his country, about missing his native land, being in this big city now. And it's performed amazingly by my dear brother Mauricio Martinez, that we have been collaborating in many projects now, and I'm just happy to and blessed to have him in my life.
He's wonderful. So this is me, Peru, and this is Mauricio Martinez.
like home, like home.
Standing up. What did Sheila Ray say? Let's see that comment again.
She says, I want to see this show. I'm loving these grooves and this way of storytelling. Jaime, you kill me.
Oh, thank you.
I agree.
I hope you can come back to life.
Me too. Wow. People are really loving this song. So I think I want to end on a question. I think your show marries Latin and Jewish worlds together so kind of seamlessly. What has been the most interesting for the two of you to learn when doing this? That's a very loaded question.
Well, I mean, one thing is, I mean, the universality of, you know, wanting to belong and wanting a home, and what is home, and how we find it, and you know, who's your family, and also just that and not that things aren't black and white, but the joy that that they're very hard choices to make. You know, I mean, Sarah, when she sort of is separating and having to make decisions that separate her from her, you know, sort of religious community, it's not easy choices, and they're never black and white, and so that was one thing that struck me with this, the choices that my students were making, and that I think we all make in our lives, that are, you know, being drawn in so many different directions and wanting to find an authentic family. You know, for me, Jaime.
Yeah, for me, I mean, every single character in the show has a little bit of me. I mean, it's like my own story as an immigrant as well. And being honest, being back in Monterrey, Mexico, I didn't know what was diversity. I mean, because we all look the same and we all speak the same. So it wasn't until I get here to New York that I realized, oh, this is diversity. I mean, there's many people from different places in the same city, speaking different languages, believing different things. So I have been learning that even as Latino, from different countries, we are all different as well. Even if we speak the same language, kind of, because we don't really speak the same language. I mean, there's some words that mean that very different things depending the country you are from. But having to learn to respect those differences, and that those differences make us unique. And because of that uniqueness, we can create a family. It's a paradox, but we are a family because we are different, not because we are the same. And I just love that. That has been one of my greatest learning experiences during the show.
And I think also for me, it feels like in the development of it's also created a family. Because a lot of the development early on was with some of my students and with, you know, just friends from different cultures, and we did a lot of improvisation, and the gift that each one of them gave. And then all this summer working with all these, you know, people from different countries, and, you know, Malky Goldman from, you know, who had her own story of leaving an ultra-Orthodox community, and that a family's been made in some ways, you know, with the people from all the different countries.
Well, the indelible power of home is certainly universal.
And I just want to display this comment from this woman who has the same last name as me, who I don't know, who says, Jews and Latinos both have had to leave their homes to go to new countries. We can truly relate to each other so much. Yes, absolutely. That's
beautiful.
Yeah. I think this city, I was going to say before, that is such a melting pot. I think your show displays that in such a special way. And I think that's why we love New York. I think that's why New York is such the place it is, because there's no culture boundaries. We're a melting pot. We all kind of mold together.
Awesome. Jen said it best. I totally agree with her. Nancy, Jaime, thank you so much. We can't wait to see this show on a stage. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon, yes.
You're part of the family now.
Thank you.
Your hug.
Wow. Well, and speaking of family, I just heard from my parents who always watch, so I wanted to single them out. My dad said, "Good song" to that last song, telling me how good I looked. Thanks, Mom. And I said, "Oh my God, Mom, I'm exhausted." She said, "I would have never known." So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. I miss you. You are my family. And it was excited to bring up this theme of family and the indelible.
We've singled out both of our parents now. Great.
That's right. Well, that's our show for the night. We will be back next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. with the new musicals, The King's Wife and Metropolis.
Yes, The King's Wife is written by Grammy-nominated songwriter Jamie Floyd and award-winning playwright Melissa Annis. And Metropolis is written by Ardai Knox and Brandon Webster.
That's right. And it takes an incredible amount of work to make tonight's show happen. So in order to continue to lift up artists and original musicals, we really need your help. So please join our generous donors by making your gift today on our website at nytheaterbarn.org/give.
Yes, and again, that link is nytheaterbarn.org/give, and you can give on our website. You can give by coming to our roundtable next Monday. We just would love to have you a part of the New York Theater Barn family. So thank you for tuning in tonight. And I just want to say before we go, most voter registration deadlines have passed this week, but if you don't have a voting plan, now is the time to do it. And we can only do that if we change and we help to save our country.
Absolutely. So thank you again for tuning in tonight, and thank you for supporting live theater.
Good night.
Good night.
Joe and Jen, thank you so much for having us. We love what you're doing. You're giving something, you're giving a lot of people something to feel good and to work on, and a lot of something for a lot of people to look forward to right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Joe and Jen, and great to have your support, and great the interpreter for access. Thanks, everyone.
We at MTF have been really lucky to be able to support these musicals and are really grateful to New York Theater Barn for lifting them up, especially at this time.
It was just a great experience to just be back in the studio with amazing people and to create work during this time. It was refreshing. It took my mind off of everything for a couple of weeks, and I'm so thankful.
Hello, I'm Bill Berry, and I'm the producing artistic director at the Fifth Avenue Theater.
And I'm Kelsey Torgelson, and I'm the associate artistic director at the Fifth Avenue Theater.
We'd like to thank the New York Theater Barn for supporting such fabulous new musicals like Here and There and Half the Sky.
Well, I loved it. Thank you, all of you. I mean, certainly Sheila and Deborah have brought her back, and this is just a treat all the way through.
It's really nice to make something pretty in a time when everyone's, teamed all up in arms. So thank you for this opportunity. It's been a blast.
Thank you, guys. And I have to say, before we go, I just want to thank you so much for keeping us going, because in this time of uncertainty, theater people know how to keep going, damn it. So thank you.